Well, first I want to say happy belated birthday to you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes,
Appreciate
you're welcome.
that.
I saw that, you were celebrating, and I know this has to be a celebration for you, being
I'd like
a
to
part
think
of this
I'm
film.
getting vintage. I'm getting more vintage. Yeah, we ain't gonna use the word old. We ain't
No,
going there.
no, but
You
you've been, in this acting business for quite some time.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, it's
Oh,
been a while.
So you're gonna take it there. You're gonna take it there. You see what I'm saying? She gonna go there. I was your favorite actor in middle school, wasn't I? You had a crush on me in middle school. Back when you were in 7th grade, you were like,
You giving it right back to me, huh?
I mean,
Is that how you
I
gonna
listen.
do it?
You'd be surprised, man. Like I've seen girls and I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? She's like, can I be honest? Be like, yeah, I had the biggest crush on you in middle school. I'm like, okay, hold that thought. Let me go over here and talk to an adult before I get in trouble.
Oh boy, no, I'm not that young, but still.
It's all good.
I'm happy to be able to talk to you. There's a lot that I didn't know about you.
Okay.
Like one of them, you're really into karate and martial arts.
I grew up a martial artist. Yeah. See, I grew up in
That's
the Bruce Lee
interesting.
era. And I was the only child. My mom, my dad died when I was young, so my mother said, she had to figure out if she was going to put me in sports or put me in something that I could learn to defend myself, because she knew I wasn't going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't going to be there to fight my battles for me. So she put me in martial arts. And I remember one time I had this thing called a green machine.
Mm-hmm.
It was like back when, big wheels and everything. And this dude, Freddie, took my green machine, man. He just came and snatched it. And Freddie was bigger than me. And I went to the house and I told my mom, I was crying. I was distraught. And she told me, she was like, so I worked 3 jobs for you to be in karate. And you just gonna let this guy take your green? Like, what are you taking karate for? She said, go out there and do your karate, or you're going to have to either fight Freddie or you're going to have to fight me. And
Did you fight him?
My mom was bigger than Freddie.
Right.
I went out there and I kicked Freddie's ass.
Okay, good.
I beat him down. And the funny thing is, man, I saw Freddie like 10 years later. He had just gotten out of jail
Oh my God.
at an IHOP.
Oh my.
I ran into it at IHOP, in PG County, man, in Maryland.
Changed his
Yeah.
life, man.
Yeah,
We beat this kid up.
I
man.
beat him all the way to jail, man.
When
Yeah.
was the last time that you had to use your karate skills?
I haven't karateed in a while,
Okay.
but I still got that karate body.
Okay.
You see how I flipped that, Deon? I still got the with
Okay.
the kung fu grip too.
Okay.
Don't get
Okay.
it twisted.
I'm scared of
Slap
you.
that.
Okay.
Traffic 420 this Friday at a theater near you.
So you didn't get to use any of those skills in this film, in Traffic.
Nah.
Yeah, I was pissed. I'm gonna tell you,
What were you?
Deon.
Yeah.
I was pissed. First of all, I'm not really good with, like, I would call this a thriller, high intensity, somebody being captured, held against their will.
Right.
I'm squeamish when it comes to, I'm more of the tell me what happens and cover
Right.
my
So
ears.
you're the one that was covering her eyes in the theater.
You saw me?
You're gonna have this is what I love about this movie. You either have people that are screaming at the theater, at the screen, yelling at us, or covering their eyes.
Yeah, I can't.
That was you. You were here with it.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
here, and I was stressed. I had a like a little.
Yes.
No, that is not.
That's great.
No, I was sick. I was in pain.
Yes, I was mad because I really thought that y'all. I hate to give something.
No, you don't have to. Don't give it away. Don't
I'm
give
not,
it away.
but I just really didn't expect a certain thing to happen.
Right. Well, listen. That's where I think Deon as a writer
And hold
is
this mic up,
brilliant.
Deon.
Because he, a lot of these movies, you feel like you can just watch the trailer and you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or a lot of these thrillers, you feel like you can predict. It's such a formula. You can predict, okay, this is going to happen, and here comes the monster.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this movie is when you think you figured it out, you haven't. Like, it goes left. And then when you think you finally know where it's going to go, boom, it shoots in another direction.
Yeah.
And that's just great filmmaking.
Right. I mean, like, so you really made it twisty. And curve, like, and this is such a that's all I could think of. It was a lot of going on,
Twisty and curvy.
curvy, and it was a very real issue. that we're talking about here, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, one of the biggest issues in the world right now that we're dealing with, not internationally but domestically.
exactly.
Right here in urban neighborhoods. So Baltimore, New York, Chicago, Atlanta. Atlanta's the number one hub right now.
Wow.
So yeah, we wanted to create a movie that could move you, could thrill you, could give you all the the ins and outs. But then ultimately, we wanted to send you down the rabbit hole to where you come out doing exactly what you're doing now, going, man, this is real. And I felt this way when it ended, and I felt that way when I was watching it, and I didn't know that was going to happen. And it's just I think it's a very, very powerful movie for women.
Yes.
And I think what's really twisting a lot of people up is it's a woman's journey, and they're going into the film going, oh, okay, I know what's going to happen here. And that was one of the biggest things in the screenplay that I thought was really cool was we're going to eliminate certain things in the movie to where now it really is a woman's film.
Yes.
And it's really about her, and she has to learn how to fight.
Right.
And she has to learn how to escape. And everything that you think that normally happens in these films that keep coming out. It's funny, we were in Chicago, Atlanta yesterday, and a young lady was like, yeah, it was good to see a movie where the black woman's not, trying to kill her husband or crazy or... So I said, man,
or hurt because she got cheated on.
Right.
Whatever that is. Yeah. So I'm like, man, this is just a dope movie for today.
Yeah.
I think this is like, I was raised by a single mother, so my entire life, that's all I know is that. You know what I mean? Right. I've had those situations. You talk, my mom done went outside and whooped on them. You know what I mean? I done had moments like that. So this movie I felt like is a really, really good movie for women to go see. And I think it's a reverse date movie. I think this is the one where the guys are going to be like, yo, this is crazy, and oh my God, woo, and they screaming and yelling, and then the women like, I can't take it, and then ultimately the women go, oh my God, I love this. You know what I mean? And I think it should, wrap into the culture, and this is, the power of independence, because a studio would never make this movie.
Yeah, no, yeah. I really felt that this was a perfect time to release something like this. And then I did realize there was an epiphany while I was watching it, and I said, oh, this is all about Paula. You know what I mean? Like, I realized, okay, this is going to be a woman's fight. This is about a woman empowering herself and just fighting.
Yes.
And so from that, I went from like, yes, to I got sad by seeing the statistics of how much
how real it is. The fact that it's a multi-billion-dollar a year industry.
Yeah,
Right?
that was
Everybody
crazy.
talks about drugs, but they don't realize this industry is just as big as the drug trade.
Yeah, that
only
scares
difference
me.
is drugs. Once it's consumed, it's gone. You need new drugs. Here, people are being reused over and over and over again on a daily basis.
So I took my friend, and we were kind of wondering, I don't know about this trade, but who's buying that? Like, who is paying? Is it overseas? I mean, where is this money generated?
Well, the money's generated. It's a sex trafficking ring. There's sex trafficking trades. So, for instance, the Super Bowl is the highest time of the year where trafficking is at the highest. They are shipping hundreds of thousands of girls into whatever that city is, and there are men in all these hotels that are consuming the women.
Yeah.
So it's girls on planes, it's girls on buses, it's girls being transported in trucks. It's whatever it is. This is where it's the Super Bowl for that as well.
Yeah. Uber recently just did a big sensitivity training to train their drivers on how to spot women being trafficked.
Oh, wow.
Because they use Uber a lot to like send girls around to, you think they're just a girl on an Uber, but really it's a trafficking ring going to different clients per day.
That is so scary to me.
Yeah.
That is so scary.
Yeah.
Now, since this film, it stars Paula Patton. She's been through her journey as a woman. What was it like, working with her? I mean, she's had such an amazing career, and emotionally, she's gone through some things as well. So, what was it like working with her?
She was great. This is a very hard movie for her. to do.
Was it?
In
In
terms,
what
I
way?
mean, I'm saying it was a hard move for her to do in terms of you haven't seen Paula have the ability to stretch out like this ever.
True.
I think the closest we've seen her, was Deja Vu, where she was called on to have multiple layers to her character. I don't believe it. I do believe it. What do you mean? Like, opposite Denzel. And I felt like this movie was a stretch for her in terms of like, okay, I'm going to stretch out as an actress. It's not going to be about every scene. Is the director's not trying to make her beautiful every time, right? This was just solely about her as an artist. This was her as a freelance journalist who is prideful of her job, who is me first over relationship, and ultimately
Sounds like me.
right. What and then ultimately what happens is
I know.
yeah. And then ultimately what happens is here she is struggling to try to get a story. She's not being treated fairly at her job. Guy is just taking her job, right? Her story, and ultimately what she does is Guy rips her and puts her into a project, into a world where she now has to live a story.
Right.
And so that's the most authentic you can be when you have to live something, right? And it's a testament of how life is, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So for me, I've had to live as a filmmaker before I could make a movie. And now with a movie, I understand it and respect it more so than if 10 years ago, if I would have been like, God, please let these people give me this money to make this movie, and I would have got it, I wouldn't have understood the power and the significance of it. Now, 12 years journey, you know what I mean? Now you get a movie up and it's not like about, can it make $100 million in the box office? I've been telling people all week, I'm happy it's in the theater.
Right.
So I already won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's a different mindset. And I had to be fractured and broken in order to get there. And I think the Paula character is that as well. So she's a flawed character. And then ultimately she goes down this thing. But her performance, she did all her own stunts.
Oh, she did. Holy moly.
She did everything you've seen in that movie is her.
Wow.
I don't think it was one time. I don't think even in the cabin, it was not one time. The stunt girl actually just got a free check.
What about Omar? Did he do?
Omar did all his own stuff. The only thing Omar didn't do was drive the car, but Paula was in the car with the stuntman.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when you're tuned in.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's when you're like, all right, I'm and I felt like everybody, Laz, Omar, Paula, Rosin, I felt like it was a set of underdogs.
Yeah.
It was like a set of everybody, you know them, you like them, you love them, you know what I mean? But we don't see them all the time, and they've been replaced by other people in certain things, and this set was like, no, let's get it. You know what I mean? Like everybody like, all right, we gonna band together and we gonna go play them.
Right.
Okay, we gonna beat them, right?
Right.
And I felt like that was the energy on set with all of us, was like, they didn't take a chance on me as a filmmaker. So all right, let me show them what I do. And Laz was like, yo, I was supposed to be in that. Let me really show these cats, like, and Paula was like, yo, I've been here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And whatever it is going on is cool, but let me show you why I'm Paula Patton.
Right.
And I think this was a really dope exercise for all of us as a group to be able to make a movie like this that's just raw, authentic, real, true to form, it's gritty, and something we could be proud of, whether it makes $2 or $20 million.
Yeah.
This is a dope movie.
Yeah,
and
it
I
is
just
dope.
tell people all the time, it's dope art. So
Yeah.
whatever happens in that medium, that's cool. But I know what's gonna happen over the next year with this.
Yeah, no,
and it works.
It did work. And piggybacking off of what you said, Deon, about Laz, he said that you were like, I used to be in this, or I was supposed to be in this, and you brought that energy. So being in this field for so long, is that what keeps you motivated? I hate to say revenge, right? But it's kind of like this, like, oh, you doubted me type of deal. Now let me really show you what I can do once I get the platform, or no?
Not really. I mean, I think there's always going to be that competitive nature.
Okay.
When it comes to tackling every role and showing that no one could have played this role better than me.
That's right.
But I believe everybody has their vehicle and their blessings, and more power to you. God bless you. Just don't waste the opportunity.
Absolutely.
There are some. You will see some that you're like, okay, he wasted that. He could have totally milked that like that. He could have killed that. You know, but when it comes to people who do a great job, you know, I big up all my fellow actors. But I feel like when it comes to me and when I get an opportunity like this one, you know, I'm gonna show the world that nobody could have played that role better than me.
Yeah.
That's my job, and to make you remember my character. You know, I want you to walk away from that theater and remember that character. And that's my job. If I'm able to do that, if I'm able to transport you to not see Laz, you know, when to get you to the point where you don't see Laz no more, it's a different human being on that screen, then I did my job.
Now, I did see somewhere where you said you bring a little bit of yourself to each character. Does that still reign true, or is that something?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's impossible to completely remove yourself.
Right.
But that's the goal.
Okay.
The goal is to get yourself out of the way so that the character can live. And, you know, Deon and I had a really good conversation about that on set. You know, where he just basically took the script out of my hand and threw it on the ground, and he said, F that. F the script. He's like, go, just improv, do you, bring the character life, forget these words that I wrote. He's like, you know where we're going with this. You know the direction I want the character to go in. I trust you. You know, he's like, I just want you to, you know, this is who I need this character to be. You know, and when he said that and when he gave me that trust and when he gave me those words, I said, all right, I got you. You know, just tell me if I go overboard.
Okay.
You know, and Deon, he, you know, it's hard to go overboard with Deon. Like, he's like, go, keep going, push it harder, like, do that again and do more. You know, and so we had a lot of fun on set because it was literally a free experience. You know, we just like broke all the rules and we just went for broke, and everybody lived their characters. Even when he would yell cut, we were still in character.
Wow.
You know?
It sounds like a really great energy on set. I really look forward to people seeing it on Friday.
Yeah, 420.
420.
Traffic and chill.
Yes, please. It is a really great message, and I think that it's perfect timing with, you know, women empowerment and all of that. So good job, Deon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for talking to me.
Absolutely.
All right, and it was great talking to you. Hopefully I get to talk to you again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You will.
And with another film coming up, right?
For sure.
All right.
Yes.